Welcome to the 80 Proof Podcast. Best enjoyed with joy in your heart and a drink in your hand. Topics of the month this month are on the screen, scrolling by faster than you can possibly read them. I am your host in the black corner, Nathan. My guest today, in the blue corner, hailing from the same planet that will one day bring you Saints Row Space Gangstas, John.
Hey there.
In the white corner, he's where babies really come from, Aaron P.
Aaron P, huh?
Well, they don't want to have to pronounce it. In the red
People
corner,
love saying the last name, though.
that's true. In the red corner, he once came and he saw, but when he demanded the T-shirt, they asked him to leave the porno theater. No patience.
Hi.
So, Aaron, I'm going to start with you. What games did you play this month?
Well, as always, I am playing my free-to-plays, World of Tanks, occasional League of Legends and other MOBAs, Battle for Graxia and Smite. And then I did spend some time on Halo 4 and Borderlands 2, which
Thoughts
is
on Halo
ridiculous and fun. What was that?
Thoughts on Halo 4? Because I've played Borderlands 2.
I haven't seen it either.
Halo 4 was, the gameplay, pretty much the same as you expect from any Halo. Was fun and is a lot more streamlined, of course, since the original. Nothing really new as far as that goes. And they added some new weapons and new enemies and whatever. They really got into the story. The character of Master Chief and Cortana, and without spoiling anything for people who have not played it, I really, really enjoyed the look kind of inside Master Chief's soul. He is a character that, he doesn't have a whole lot of lines, but every time he does something really is kind of impactful. He does have a character. And I really enjoyed this fourth installment of the game.
Fantastic. The Borderlands 2, I've read that the writer for Borderlands 2, for the characters and everything and all the dialogue, they called him out on Tiny Tina being racist somehow.
That's bullshit.
Of course, somebody's going to... Well, he was actually really reasonable with the people, and
all I have to say about Tiny Tina, by the way, is best tea party ever.
Apparently, the real issue was that they thought that the character was silly, and it
It's
meant
Borderlands,
to be a silly
for
character.
fuck's sake, of course it's silly.
Amen.
That's the point
Amen.
of the game.
Give
Right,
that man a beer. Amen.
but she's portrayed as a silly character, but she also has primarily Ebonics dialogue. So they were like, so you're portraying Ebonics as being silly. It's a huge stretch, and there's so many things he could have said, but he was like, I see your point, and maybe I'll think about changing that sort of thing in the future. So I was really impressed with his strength of character.
I don't know. That also kind of sounds like okay, I'm listening to you talk, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I'm just
But
going
he-
to say whatever to placate
He
you.
also
but
made a bit of
either
an
way,
excuse.
I'm happy with that.
He said that he went and said that the character, the way he originally wrote her, was supposed to have a lot of different types of dialogue, like fantasy-esque dialogue and all kinds of different cross sections of dialogue, all mashed together randomly, so that she would seem like she was out of her goddamn mind.
Which I think
What
they
all
still
that came
portrayed.
out was the Ebonics thing. It was probably edited, but
Selective editing strikes again.
yes. Damn you editors! I might be saying that a lot. That might be my catchphrase. So John, what have you been playing?
Oh man, I started this month, like the last 3 days,
Over the last month, whatever you've been playing that's notable to you.
since January 1st, let's say. I started with Dota 2 and Faster Than Light as soon as I got back to Pennsylvania. Faster Than Light was surprisingly fun. I heard a lot of people talking about it, but it really is. It's challenging and it's entertaining and it's confusing sometimes, and you don't really understand what's going on. But then you get the hang of it, and it's a blast. And I haven't yet won a game, which is always a good thing for me. I'm always impressed by a game that can beat me consistently.
It was like Legend of Grimrock was.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Another one. I picked up Blood Bowl for a little bit. That's a fun one. I haven't really gotten into it yet, but it has promise. And I've been playing a lot of League. Excited about the Season 3 changes. I think that's about it. Diablo 3, but not really regularly. They're coming up with some new patch changes here in a little bit that'll be exciting.
We will talk about.
Sorry, I forgot one of the games I've been playing. Final Fantasy XI, which.
Oh yeah.
Everybody and their mother can go on and hate me for that one.
Oh,
but
we'll talk about. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Me and you.
We'll talk about that later. Okay.
Nick, you're up. What have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of online things. I've been playing a lot of League. I've been playing Chivalry Medieval Warfare. Did I say that right? Chivalry. It's really good. I really like it. It's
you
a lot
invented
like
the word, Mr.
It's a lot like a Counter-Strike, but you have swords and you shout at each other and you're knights and you chop each other's head off. It's really satisfying, just like the thunk when you cut someone's head off. It's just beautiful. And I've been playing Devil May Cry 4 and the new DMC Devil May Cry. And I've been playing The Witcher 2. That's what I've been playing.
Still.
I wanted to take a look at that one. I really did.
I have it and haven't even opened it yet. I mean, opened. I say opened. I have it on Steam, so I haven't installed it yet. I've had it for, I don't know, a year? I think a year.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's supposed to be amazing, and I'm a huge RPG and narrative type person, so it's unbelievable that I still haven't played it. It's mind-boggling. Yep. Yes, you are correct, sir. So, this is 80 Proof podcast. So, I'm thinking that maybe we should address the alcohol situation. Let's all open our drinks. This is the ceremonial opening of drinks. It's like when they break the bottle on the ship, they sort of see it off. Except in this case, it's a podcast, and we want to drink the booze. So it's good. I'm gonna lead us off. I'm drinking Yinling, and I'm mixing it with ginger ale because I'm weird.
You are disgusting. You're ruining the burners. 2, you're ruining the Yingling. Somebody needs to reach through the microphone and slap you upside the head.
I am not going to say that I wouldn't deserve that, but it's actually delicious, so I would recommend everybody to try it before they slap me in the head.
Well, I am drinking Bacardi Oakhart, and that is spelled Oakheart, and not Bacardi O, just so there's clarification on that. And I am unfortunately mixing it with Mountain Dew because I am out of Sprite, but it is still delicious.
Let's talk about this drinking rule that we were talking about. The general idea is that everybody gets to choose a word, and the group as a whole is not allowed to say that word, including the person who made up the rule, by the way. But he can't really call out himself, so somebody else is going to have to call him out. Anytime you use one of those 4 words, the person that made up the word has to call you out on it, or else you get away with it. There's no penalty for him not calling you out on it, but
you can call yourself out.
And I'm going to pick the word graphic. That way it encapsulates the word graphics, You never choose plural. Never choose plural.
Okay. I'm going to choose the word fuck.
Ah.
Oh, dear.
Ah. You went there. Ah.
The pain.
I'm screwed. I might as well
there's not enough beer in
sign
the
up for
world.
alcohol poisoning right now.
Yeah, there's
Call
not enough
the ambulance.
alcohol in the world for me to not die.
Well, the real strength of that one too is that somebody has to call you out on it, and
it's gonna happen so often. We're gonna get diluted.
miss.
Like they're saying violence in kids. How they see so much violence and then they're desensitized to it. They'll be desensitized to fuck.
Hey, drink.
Already. John, you're up.
Oh, I don't know. How about
I don't know is, well, it's a phrase, but dunno.
I like the idea of dying, death, not death, die. Die in the past tense. So I died, you died, he died.
Fair enough. We got 3. What you got, Nick?
I think I'm gonna go with something gaming related. So DLC.
DLC is a good one.
Yeah, that's not bad.
All right.
All right. Well, I have a shot in hand to start this ridiculousness off. So
you guys want to have a little shot?
yeah,
I'll have a shot with you. I got a shottable liquor here.
If you don't have a shootable liquor, if you could just take a pull with me, but
I'm not taking a pull off this. Hang on.
And you guys are totally free to play at home.
yes,
You
absolutely.
could call us out on it. You could call each other out on these words. It'd be fantastic.
I think we should
Or you
allow
could just
each
drink
other
whenever
to,
we drink. This would be fun.
I think we should allow a retroactive calling. So if someone is in the middle of a good stream of thought, we
Oh,
don't have
yes.
to interrupt them.
That is a fantastic idea. That's
Hey,
why
hey.
you're here, buddy. The good
You said it.
ideas.
Go. So
Well, and the reason that I'm here is because I'm loud and opinionated. But here's to good games, good booze, and good conversation.
Sure.
yeah, cheers.
Guys,
Cheers.
You guys ready to get right into the news?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I said that way
Yeah.
too fast.
No, wait. Oh yeah, never mind. Go ahead. Go for it.
Devil May Cry got bombed really hard on Metacritic. The actual review section was fine, but the user review section, at one point, in its first 300 user reviews, was at less than 3 out of 100.
Wow. 4.2 right
Yeah.
now.
I'm not sure what exactly happened there. I want to assume that 4chan or something, somewhere someone decided that they just wanted to attack the game because they were mad, so they got themselves and all the people that they were associated with to give it a 0 or whatever it is that's the lowest possible. It doesn't seem humanly possible for a game to be. It's not even relevant. We shouldn't even discuss the chance that it is actually 3 out of 100 bad.
Well, hold on. We actually have somebody who has played the game in the last month. Now, I have not played it, but apparently Nick has.
Yes.
So Nick, what is your feeling on the game? What's your
I actually really, really like it. I think it's a really good DMC game. I think what people are giving it thumbs down for and 3 out of 100 is more the marketing behind it. Because before the game came out, I was like, fuck, the new Dante looks so stupid. What have they done? What is going on? Why is this happening to my life? And then I actually played it and I was like, yes, it's actually kind of amazing. It's I really didn't think I would like it, but I saw it really cheap on a website, a Steam key for it, so I just bought it. And it's grown on me. I actually quite like almost everything about it. It's got some problems, the combo system's been dumbed down a lot since 4 and 3. But all in all, it's pretty good game. Well polished.
Like I said, I didn't personally play it, and that was more a financial situation. I recently went through a move and a job change, but so I watched a couple of videos from a playthrough, and I was one of those people. I was like, "What the hell did you do to my Dante?" Because I'm a huge fan of the series, and I watched a little bit of the playthrough and saw some of the things that they changed, and I'm thoroughly excited about this reboot for the series. I haven't played the game, so I don't know about the the controls and whatnot, because I know that could be a legitimate issue with a hack and slash like that. But
one of the things that people are complaining about on a large scale is that you can get to S rank. You know what that means, being a Devil May Cry player, in 5 hits.
Yeah, it's just...
yeah, that's pretty lame.
Eh.
And it's really easy on boss fights to maintain your things. What do they do? What's it called? like you can really see when their attacks are coming, like so
telegraph.
much because like telegraph their attacks. Like it's a giant monster and he swings his arm at you really stupidly and you just jump over it and you smack him in the face continually, and you're just like beating the shit out of him and it's
I
like
hate bosses
yeah,
like that.
like
Like being that big does not necessarily have to make you super slow.
like some of the normal enemies, I find it harder to keep combos on than like actual bosses because they're faster. It's things like that. And it's like the first boss was just like pathetic. Like you can just sit there like shooting him in the face continually with like Ebony and Ivory, and you should be bang, 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 and your score will just keep going up. And it's like, fuck's sake, guys.
That's another complaint I have. Ebony and Ivory, as far as damage is concerned, completely
So
unnecessary to the game.
shit.
Yeah.
In every DMC, it's just like, why do I have guns?
Well, I mean, like in the first Devil May Cry, which was my favorite.
I haven't played that one.
I'm a hipster. I think that the first one was best. But I loved the guns. The gunplay was great. You could use the shotgun to just like tear through people. Ebony and Ivory were useful. Maybe not. They weren't like super strong, but they were handy. You needed them for things. In this game, you can get through the entire game easily without ever using any of the guns, because they're borderline useless.
They've made
Like-
them weaker. Ebony and Ivory, like they're weaker than they've ever been, and that's kind of annoying.
According to the lore, I think they should be strongest at this point, because he's probably got the weakest weaponry at this point, because he would, keep the best ones as he got older, since this is a prequel and all. I don't know, maybe that's a little loose logic, but
Well, I don't know if it's really a prequel either, but I mean, it is kind of as far as the reboot goes. But on that line, I mean, what you could do in the original DMC is you could sit there and power up your Ebony and Ivory with your Devil Trigger, and that made them, more powerful. And they, I don't know if that one's still in here or not, but that ability was always something I thought was well worth the time. It was a lot of fun.
Here's the real question. Since everybody's pretty much talked Devil May Cry into the ground at this point,
Mm-hmm.
we need to talk about first how Metacritic gets this wrong, how their system is flawed, and second, how Devil May Cry could improve their next game, like how they could get all the things they got wrong here right in the next one.
I actually have. I just pulled up the site a little while ago, and it looks like your information is slightly incorrect. The Devil May Cry Metacritic score that the Metacritic itself gives it is out of 100, but the user scores are out of 10. So at this point, it's a 4.2 out of 10
Oh shit,
on
guys.
user reviews. So it's
So
certainly
it's
not
30, the
favorable.
equivalent of 30 out of 100.
And there's a lot of zeros and ones and zeros.
Captain Correct over here.
A lot of people don't like it still. And what seems to be the problem with a lot of these people is that they don't like the storyline. I mean, there's some gameplay things, but a lot of people are mentioning how
Okay.
there's
That is completely. They've missed the point. Devil May Cry. Worst storylines ever. They're fun. They're like stupid slasher fic fun almost. They're just like they're James Bondy fun. That's what they are. It's just
Actually-
stupid, awesome
Actually-
guy that's just so ridiculously awesome that you want to root for him. Fun.
This one actually does have a story that's actually kind of interesting, which is like blowing
Yeah.
my mind.
Maybe
Because they-
that's why people don't like it.
Yeah, because like this time Dante is actually a character. Things like that, like he's written and he's got like levels of complexity, and in the old ones it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot someone, yeah, and
I
now
got
it's
pinned to
like
the
he's
floor
got
from
like
the sword.
feelings and emotions and things, and people are like, I just want to fucking hit something with an axe.
Feelings and emotions. Oh, fuck this.
Okay, so
I'm gonna go play Call
back
of Duty.
back to the original question, and then, although I do have, I mean, the thing that has interested me most about this installment of Devil May Cry, or the reboot for the series, is that it actually has a story. That's the thing that most intrigues me about it. But I'm unfamiliar with Metacritic's system, so I don't know, how they rate this, or how people rate it. So if maybe I could get an explanation on that, I can
That's
answer your
great.
question.
That is a fantastic point. Because
yeah.
there are going to be people listening that don't understand Metacritic. Go ahead, John.
I have it pulled up right now. I can. I basically hang on one second.
While you're pulling, getting what you're ready, what you want to get ready, I want to give my short little explanation. Metacritic
Go.
is this like powerhouse in reviewing. They gather review sites. They gather the reviews from review sites all over the place, and they chuck them all into one place, and they call it the review score. The problem is the algorithm is hidden. You don't know how they decide which websites count for what, and they have said that they don't all count the same. They have an algorithm that chooses which sites are weighed more heavily, but they won't tell you how. And the other one is a straight up review score from people. That's the user review, and that's the one that got the 3 out of 10.
Yeah, which is currently at 4.2. The Metascore, I just finally pulled it up. Metascore for Devil May Cry currently is sitting at an 86 out of 100, which is a B plus.
Yeah, good. It was pretty good.
Well, it's not even a B plus. That's pretty good. I mean, what's the highest rated game on Metascore? Is the question, because it's a
Like 99.
you're not going to see very many over 90. Are you?
You could look it up since you're on there. They actually have a like you can
High score.
switch it over to all time or whatever.
Far Cry 3 has a 90.
Walking Dead is a 92, and it's this is in the last 90 days apparently. 98's the highest, and then you got a bunch of 96, and then come 94s. So, and that was Grand Theft Auto 4. Is the highest rated game on Metacritic right now, ever. All
Nice.
time.
That's
A bit weird.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, okay, I suppose this is a valid point too. How much do people actually listen to reviews?
Well, see,
Like,
this is the problem. Whether or not people actually listen to the reviews is irrelevant. They're not useful for that anymore. What they're used for now is publishers to decide how well a game has done, and that is why they're so powerful. The Metacritic review has become as powerful as it has because game studios actually get shut down as a result to low ratings on Metacritic from time to time.
Even
I
with
mean-
high sales.
High sales,
Well, they
high
don't
sales
so much
are
get
important, but
They
Metacritic
don't so
scores
much-
also do things. Sorry,
they
go
don't so
ahead.
much get shut down as they do like not make a sequel to a game because it's that people didn't like it.
Mirror's Edge is a good example of that.
which that game
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Got good news for you later on in the news. Stick around, boys and girls. I got Mirror's Edge related news.
Nice. All right. But my comment about reviews, which may or may not be outdated, and once again, I'm being loud and opinionated.
It's your job.
Is movie reviews is where I kind of developed my opinion on reviews, which were in my teenage years when Siskel and Ebert were both still alive, and what I did with reviews is I went and I found critics and I read some reviews about things that I already had an opinion on. Said, what is their opinion about these things? And okay, this is what they say. And then I go, okay, so when they say these things about something, I'll know that I'll feel this way. As I found out how they reacted to something, and then based on their reactions to that stimulus, whatever it was, I would know what my reaction would be. So if they didn't like this for this reason, but I liked that for that same reason, okay, they didn't like that, I'm going to like that. That's how I used reviews.
That's interesting. So, did you use the same reviewers often because you understood that reviewer?
In particular, yes. Yeah, that was precisely the way in which I functioned on reviews.
I just have a funny little thing I found on Metacritic. I linked it in Skype for us. Out of the Park Baseball 2000, a PC game that came out in 2007, apparently 2006, has a 96 on Metacritic.
That's
rating
another one of the
possible,
weaknesses of Metacritic.
and a 3.3 on user scores. I've never even heard of this game, so yeah.
Oh man.
Their system
There's
has
another like if you
maybe a small
do usually I would say the user score is more useful than the reviewer score. But if you do by the reviewer score, you have these weird anomalies like there's this trucker game that's been used for YouTube channels a lot for playthroughs because it's a stupid silly thing and it's rated really high on the user reviews for some reason.
You mean
Well,
Euro
like
Truck
farming.
Simulator?
That's the one. That's
Yeah.
the one.
I was watching fucking Unit Lost do that the other day, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
How are you doing this? Why are you doing this? If I was doing that, I would have like boatloads of money in this scenario. But even with the boatloads of money, I would be like, how has my life come to this? If I was playing Euro Trucker.
I have to
for
say that
viewers.
while Farming Simulator 2013 or whatever the hell that
That's
game was
another
called
Yeah.
was a terrible game, I really, really enjoyed watching Yogscast play it. I laughed my ass off.
That's the
So-
thing about Yogscast is that despite the fact that they pander to their audience and don't have a whole lot of, the point is they we skip that opinion real quick. The point is that they have the capability of being entertaining. Whatever they're doing, they have the capability together to be entertaining. So it doesn't really matter what they're playing. I still stay subscribed to them because they're funny. They're
consistently
really good
funny.
at what they do. So, for whatever that's worth, they're great at that. I'm going to move on because we only got so much time. THQ. This one might take a while. THQ went bankrupt this month. It was a while back, and their IPs, for the most part, got passed around to various places. And I'm going to go through the list right now because that's what I'm here for. South Park: Stick of Truth went to Ubisoft for $3,265,000. Metro went to Koch Media for $5,877,000. Volition, they're the people who did Saints Row and Red Faction, so the rights to those two games comes with the studio, went for $22.3 million. Relic Entertainment, Company of Heroes and the Warhammer whole thing, went to Sega for $26,900,000. So that's pretty significant.
So
Homefront,
Sega owns something that's worthwhile. Yay!
woo! Homefront went to Crytek for $544,000. Darksiders went to no one. No one bought Darksiders. There were no bids on Darksiders.
I might buy Darksiders.
Yeah, you should just go ahead and make a bid. Maybe they'll take it.
Actually, those games are good.
I bought a pallet full of trophies in an auction for $1 once. Maybe it'll work like that.
Yeah.
Evolve went to 2K, the people who did Borderlands and Borderlands 2. Evolve, I know the name Evolve doesn't evoke any imagery. That's because it's never been made. It's a theoretical thing that they never actually did. I don't know if there's any development done on it at all, and if they get the assets to that, but it's interesting because 2K, out of all the people who bought anything, to me is the best developer of games. So I'm the most excited about this theoretical thing that we have no information about, except that I think it's supposed to be sci-fi, and that's all we got. That's all we know. And the other interesting story here is Darksiders. Darksiders was a fantastic game. Both of them, Darksiders and Darksiders 2. It's basically like Zelda, except that you play as Death.
No, you play as War in the first one.
Oh, well, in 2 you play as Death.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about the second one there.
Oh, the second one's much better.
I want to play as Death. And it came out recently, and they're critically received quite well, the Darksiders series in general.
It's a PC game?
It is available on PC. I have no idea if it's available
It's
on consoles.
cross-platform, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's on all three. I see that now.
You may or may not be able to tell that I'm a little biased towards PC, a lot biased towards PC in just about everything.
Because PC's the best.
PC is
Probably
the
why.
best. Yeah.
Oh.
Like, if the
We're
other
not gonna have
systems
consenting.
were as good, then we wouldn't be biased.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Uh,
I've never owned another console. PC's always been adequate.
But
So.
South Park. Let's start at the top here. South Park. Actually, I should probably talk about what all this means for a second, because this has some pretty serious implications. Basically, the studios were what were being sold. The studios in charge of the IPs, for the most part. Individual IPs, there's no point in just buying the IP when you can buy the whole freaking studio and just have them keep making it. You don't need to, disconnect the IP, hand it to some people that you already pay, when you can just, it'll be a much better game the other way around. And it doesn't mean very much that this whole thing means very little, except in the case of Darksiders, because it's all it means for the most part is that it's a new publisher. So the actual people who do the making of the game are pretty much the same in every case, except in Darksiders. So there's been a big fuss over it. It's not really that big of a deal, except Darksiders. That's going to be my new catchphrase, except Darksiders.
So no one's going to be making a new Darksiders, is essentially the
Yeah,
point.
Darksiders is pretty much done. Somebody could still buy the actual IP. The IP is
Right.
now for sale because the studio didn't find a buyer. And I think there's a possibility that the studio could still be bought, so long as THQ is still actually in existence and they still own it. But I think that I read somewhere that the entire team has now been fired and they gotta find new jobs.
They're
and
just dissolved.
it's gone. It's gone. It's hopeless. There's no real point. So that's a thing. That's a happy topic. Hooray!
It's such a good IP.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it was.
Darksiders 2, I had like some problems with like the PC port, and it was like it felt a bit rushed. Like, THQ needed that game to be out so they could make money and not go bankrupt, which they did. But the IP is so good. If anyone picked it up, they could have made a really good third game.
It's sad
I'm
too
so
because
depressed.
the Kickstarter raised quite a lot of money. It showed a lot of potential for interest in the consumer market for THQ in general, but
Kickstarter.
nonetheless, it did not. It wasn't. It was like a drop in the bucket for their amount of debt.
Do you mean the Humble Indie Bundle?
You are correct. The Humble Bundle for the Humble THQ Bundle. I said
Yeah.
Kickstarter. It happens. Booze happened, and I'm blaming that. So it is what it is. So any opinions on specific purchases in there? Because there's a lot of shit that went down. I try to downplay its seriousness, but the publisher does do a lot. They decide in the end what makes it and what doesn't.
What games
So
have
they
you remade?
they have a role to play, and which publisher owns the studio, it changes things. It's just not like all of a sudden other people are going to make the game. So I try to tell people, yeah, calm down.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm calloused. I just kind of don't care.
That's fair. This all basically we're not even talking about games right now. We're talking about economics behind a wall that this topic is. I mean, games are over here. We're in a house on a different block from games.
I mean, it'd be
And
one
we're
thing
like-
if it was like,
there's
you
some-
know, if
some,
like some like
bad people
big
moving in.
company came in and was like, we're gonna buy all of the stuff from this one company and run them out of business or whatever. But you know, I mean, company went out of business. The IPs got passed off. I suppose like when something happens or doesn't happen with those IPs, I will form an opinion. But right now, I'm just like, yeah.
Fair enough. We're talking in theory and in conjecture. So
Well, I have a slightly related question. I don't know if we want to jump on it right
shoot,
now,
man.
but
Just shoot.
how much does the people making the game influence whether or not you'll buy it or not? I know
well, in
EA
the
has
case of
gotten a ton of
EA,
shit recently, and
Dude.
it seems like there's a lot of people that are upset about them and they don't want to buy their games, don't want to give them money. But then Blizzard has fucked over a lot of people. And I'll drink to that, fine. But people still buy their games, so. Are people planning on boycotting EA? I guess is a good question.
I don't buy EA games unless it's like super necessary for the sake of my channel. Like I don't buy their games because I feel like I'm gonna enjoy them anymore. I still haven't bought Saints Row 3 because I'm so upset at them for that.
Wasn't
That
it Saints Row 3
nonsense-
THQ?
What's that?
I think Saints Row 3 was THQ.
No,
Or
not Saints Row
THQ.
3. I love Saints Row 3.
Why did
Mass
you say
Effect
Saints-
3.
All right.
I don't know what I said, but I meant Mass Effect 3.
I think you should drink just because.
All right, yeah, that's a fuck up drink. New
Okay, there you
drinking
can drink
rule
for
just
that one.
happened. Mm. Dang it. I am so upset about this and not using a certain word to express that upsetness. Tasty. Okay, so yes, in answer to John's question, but EA isn't the biggest one for me. Sega is.
Yeah.
I
What
haven't
did they
bought
do?
a Sega game since they went on their rampage. They just started not banning YouTube accounts. Obviously, they don't ban a YouTube account. YouTube does, but they sent in the paperwork, and they're like, "This guy's infringing on my copyrights." And YouTube, the little like nerdy paper pusher that it is, just said, "Okay, sir, I'll take care of it." And you don't blame the nerdy paper pusher. You blame the big bully that's forcing them to do the bad stuff. So I don't buy Sega games at all anymore. And it's not even the problem is it's not even local Sega that's doing it. It's Sega overseas. It's Sega Japan that's doing it. They basically they reported a bunch of videos that made reference to a game called Force. I don't know if any of you even remember Force. There were a
No.
few channels that got reported just for mentioning Force in a video. No gameplay, no let's play, no nothing. Just mentioned it.
Really?
And in the case of YouTube, if you get 3 copyright strikes, your account is banned. So it's pretty serious news, pretty serious stuff. So I don't mess with Sega, in part because I can't use it for my channel, and because it's too big of a risk. I can't lose my account and lose all the progress that I've gained because it's taken me a year to gain the meager progress I have, and I'm not willing to take that risk.
I'm kind of pissed off about Sega doing that because I actually made I had loads of footage and I was like trying to write a script for like a review of Sonic Generations because I quite like that game.
That's a good game.
And fucking they did that and then I can't use the video. I'm like, piece of shit.
You already did the work. Oh, that hurts me because I've edited videos in my life.
I didn't like record the voiceover yet, but I was just on that stage and I was like, God damn it. Can I just say, Sega now owns Dawn of War, Warhammer 40k, and
Oh, speaking of which,
Company of Heroes.
I'm going to cover
Are
up
we gonna-
all mention every time I said the word Force. I'm going to cover it with the censor bleep, the generic censor bleep.
Sonic Generations. Just like bleep generations.
Just like cut out the end of Sonic. Sonic orations.
Yeah, are we gonna get Sonic in Warhammer 40k and in Company of Heroes just like jumping around?
That would be
Hey, guys.
beautiful. Gotta go fast.
Yeah!
Oh, but I love Sonic for that. He's so generic and stupid. All right, I'm moving on to Atari because Atari is bankrupt again. This happened in 1984. That was the first time that they went bankrupt, and they were bought by a company in France, a French company called Infogrames. Literally Infogrames. I have no idea how that's pronounced in French. They lost so much money and went into such a great amount of debt that the local Atari company here decided to just go bankrupt to ditch the foreign company and lose all the debt. But unfortunately, they want to make like Pong games, like social Pong games in companionship with Zynga. Literally Zynga. They've already been doing this, so that's a thing.
What?
So Atari is going bankrupt so that they can make crappy Pong games with Zynga. That's the story.
Zynga, to be fair, is making a shitload of money.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, a shitload of money.
Well, like of the 4 people, actually, I apologize, in this podcast, I think I'm the only one who was old enough to have where the Atari was like the newest game station, the
Wow.
original.
I gotta make a mention here. 1984 is when they went bankrupt the first time. That's 2 years before I was born. I have no experience with the original Atari company.
Yeah, and I used to play that with our cousin over at their house. But because for anybody that didn't know, Nathan and I are brothers. If you can't tell that by the way we talk to each other, then
Fuck you,
drink.
Aaron. It was worth it. It was totally worth it.
Yeah, okay, I'll buy that for $1. Anyway, the my feeling of the matter actually is, aside from the fact that it's kind of a death of a portion of my childhood, uh, Atari totally deserves everything that they have coming to them, and they are stupid, and Atari is horrible, and
John, I have a question I want to direct toward you.
Yeah.
Because you can process this kind of social interaction information. I'm sure that you and the rest of us have seen people with the like Atari shirts on and hoodies and various memorabilia with the Atari symbol. Since most of those people who are wearing it were born 2 years after its original bankruptcy, do you think
or
that
more.
the Atari name has the same kind of value as it used to? Is it a similar value? Is it a completely separate thing? What's going on with this mental image of Atari being this like hipster cool thing?
Oh, I imagine it's a lot like the. Well, some of it, of course, is the population that had Ataris, that grew up with them and had them, and they liked the Atari back in the day, and so they got the T-shirts. But then other people maybe saw that the Atari had gone out of business, wanted to support them, wanted to call out to them, or maybe it's just the guys like Jim Belushi wearing the college T-shirt who are just going along for a ride. Um, I don't know exactly why people would enjoy that. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But
Okay, what is the coolest thing that Atari has made in the last 30 years?
I don't know if it was Atari, but there was this Meteor game remake on the Xbox right after the Xbox 360 came out. It was on the Xbox Live Arcade as like a big proponent for why you should buy an Xbox 360 for the Xbox Live Arcade, because that was the thing that they were trying to like communicate. But it was like super trippy and really colorful, and it was just the Meteor game with the little triangle ship and the meteors flying across the screen and you're trying to shoot them.
Oh,
That was really cool. I loved that game.
I've never played anything Atari has made. I don't think I have.
You never played Pong?
I might have
Have you ever
when
played
I was
ping
really
pong?
young.
What is it
Okay.
called?
I'm,
It's
I'm a
table
teenager.
tennis. It's table tennis where you're
I have
from.
no connection with Atari or anything at all. Like literally none. I don't even know what an Atari fucking looks like.
there's,
Alright, that's it.
I found a list of the games they made.
They had an
looking at-
extremely phallic controller with just it was just a stick. When you hear joystick, that's what it came from because it looked like a penis. And it had one button.
Oh wow. No, I
And-
have played one of these.
Yeah. Everybody's
Wow.
played. I even have a memory
does
of,
look like a
of
peen.
playing one.
I
If they
mean,
made one that was actually penis shaped,
okay,
I think
one
it
of
would
our,
sell.
One of our, and I'm talking to John and Nathan and Nick. I don't know if you've played this at all, but one of our favorite games is based off of an Atari game. I mean, it's an intellectual leap, and then of course there is Tetris is on this list.
Mhm.
Oh, Marble Madness, really? I loved that game. Okay.
Yes, I did too. No,
Yeah,
but please
okay,
continue.
that's-
I'm sorry.
Anyways, back to my point. One of our particular favorite games that we have played and we have drinking rules for, and we need to do in a future video at some point. Worms Armageddon is based
That's
off
true.
of their
That's
is
based
based
off that
off of
tank game.
their tanks game, which I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, you're right. What the hell is it? I found that game you were talking about. Blasteroids is the name of the game.
That game was so much fun for me.
That's a good
The
name.
asteroids.
That was, like, my
Spaceship.
favorite.
I played the crap out of that game
I remember
too.
playing that game on Windows. Was it 2.0? The one with the first one to have Windows, actual Windows in Windows. 3.1. 3.1. That's what it was called, right?
It was 3. It was definitely 3.
Oh
I
God, who
remember
didn't
that.
play? And of course Gauntlet, was mostly played I think in arcades and not whatever. But that, like, Weasel, you and I dumped ridiculous amounts of money into Gauntlet arcade machines.
I loved Gauntlet. I loved Gauntlet. I loved Gauntlet on the 360. The Xbox, not the Xbox 360. The N64? The N64, that's the one. I've had
Yep.
too much to drink, or not enough. um, the N64, I went and rented that so many times that I had to have paid for the game by the time I was done with it. And that game is shit. I went back and played that game again. That game is absolute horseshit.
It looks good. It's really good.
The game is bad, folks. The game was... Don't go and try and play that game. It's not a game that needs to be brought back. It is the same shit over and over again.
It looks like Hotline Miami, but bad.
It looks like Hotline Miami, except bad.
And this is
And
by the way,
Nick Patient, 2012. Oh, it's 2013 now? Fuck.
this is something I have to drink.
Damn
This
it!
is- I
You
have
caught
to,
it!
This is something I have to bring up because whenever
I'm gonna be
someone
drunk as fuck.
tries to get me to play a dungeon crawler like Diablo in any of its incarnations, the
Oh,
game that I
that's not the
automatically
same.
think of is Gauntlet. And
is not
I
the
don't care.
same.
Yeah, its differences are why I sit there and play it for 4 hours the first time I sit down and play it, and then its likenesses are why I never ever play it again.
That's shockingly fair. Okay. I'm gonna go and we're gonna talk about a serious issue that involves digital rights management. I didn't say the other one. SimCity will be online. You are required to be online at all times, or else the digital rights management doesn't kick in, so you can't play. This is a single-player
DRM.
game. Always single player. There are ways to interact with other people's cities, apparently, but like their crime rates can spill into your city and pollution and everything. Doesn't sound like really good reasons to want to be attached to other people's cities, but whatever. If you're not online, you can't play it, like Diablo 3. So let's have a talk. Let's have a talk about digital rights management and our feelings on digital rights management.
This is why people pirate games. I mean, aside from being poor, that's probably the main reason.
Yeah,
The
if they
second-
actually think that that's going to be an obstacle to
Yeah.
pirates, they're fucking wrong, and it's been proven in other games.
Drink.
I can also put out that
Does fucking count as fuck?
that our second favorite company
Yes.
ever, Electronic Arts, is putting this game out. Maybe you can bleep out Electronic Arts for me or something like that.
No, they don't attack YouTube channels. as
No, I
much.
mean I'm not sure we should give them any more press than they need to. However, I used to love the SimCity games. I'll put that out there too.
Yeah, dude, me
I
and
played
you,
the crap out of it.
we've had our
From
conversations about.
SimCity 1 from the beginning, I played them, and they are they're fun. They're games you don't have to win. You can't win. There's no
I think-
winning scenario.
That this is a moment that everyone has had at some point between now and Sega era. There's your city, and then you're like, I'm bored, and you like pull up the little menu, and you bring down like 5 tornadoes or whatever natural
volcano.
disaster you can to just wipe out your city. Just watch
Was it-
your meticulous
Was it
creation.
Bowser Attack one of the possible natural disasters in one of the
Donkey
SimCity
Kong
games?
was.
I don't remember if it was Bowser, but you can definitely call in a monster or an alien and stuff.
There was one that was on one of the consoles, and it had to have been like the 64 or something like that.
Oh, it was actually a Bowser.
And they
I'm
yeah,
opening
you
up
actually had
another
a
beer.
Bowser Attack.
Nice.
I thought it was Donkey Kong, man, but you know.
No, they don't realize that this is. I mean, if it was by someone else other than EA Games, I might consider buying the game because it's a lot of fun. SimCities are good, and the new things that they've done to this game look interesting. The additions that they've made make it look cool. They've made it a little bit more. They've made it moddable. Apparently, is what they did. Is they let the community at it and let them change the game, which is awesome. Which is something that the developers need to be able to do to extend the life of their games. And that's fantastic because modders often come up with so many better ideas than the game itself. Look at Dota. But I'm not going to buy this game. I can't buy this game. I refuse to buy this game because of their draconic DRM.
Draconic. Damn, that's a good word. I'm a writer. I didn't come up with that.
It applies. I think. It turned me off completely from this game. They've lost my business.
I may have used tyrannical, but draconic is better.
My thing is with this DRM is like it doesn't affect me at all, but it doesn't mean I don't fucking hate it. Like I always have an internet connection. It's not a problem that I have. It's not having an internet connection when I'm wanting to play a game on my PC. But it's just why would you do this? There's no reason for it. Like the people at CD Projekt, they've managed to not put DRM on their games. Why can't you fucking do it? Oh, I need to drink.
Relax, actually.
Somebody else calls him on it. My graphics thing has never come up. I thought
There
about
was a
trying to
game-
lure someone into it. Didn't work.
While we're talking about DRMs, there was a game that came out a little while ago. Anno 2010, I think it's
Yeah.
called.
Good game.
That
think
had it was a pretty good game. It was a sort of an Age of Empires kind of thing in the future. It was a real-time strategy game. But they had this weird DRM where they would allow you a certain number of installs on different computers. I think it was 4.
That's my
Yeah,
least
it's a cure
favorite.
ROM.
Exactly. But the problem was that any hardware change constituted, they take a snapshot of your hardware, and every time you changed your hardware, it would count as a different computer. So installing a new video card, that's your second one. Updating your RAM, third. And all of a sudden you were out of installs and the game wouldn't work anymore, even though you legitimately paid for it. And you'd only even use the one computer.
Anything that punishes someone who's being legitimate, it's not going to work. It's never going to work the way you want it to. You're going to wind up with more pirates because of the way you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rule of thumb from Nathan Peplinski. Be sure to, copyright 2013, Nathan Peplinski, if you use that.
Oh.
What did you say?
I'm not sure
What,
that's
you copyright?
copyrightable. I mean, that's because
You
that's
can't
that's
copyright an idea. Yeah. Technicalities, everyone has proven time and again that any copyright that is not legal, it's just a technicality for them.
If I got a question for you guys. If you're looking forward, what's a game you guys are looking forward to playing soon?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Anti-Chamber in about 5 hours.
True
Fair
enough.
If Anti-Chamber had come out in Australia, I know everything comes out late in Australia, but let's say it had come out in Australia. It came out in Australia a week before it came out anywhere else. Or in Japan, because that works. That actually might happen. Would you be more likely to pirate it so you could play it a week early? Or wait
Yep.
the full week
Oh,
and
yeah,
play
absolutely.
it deal?
I would have a 0% chance of my pirate rate increasing. If I was willing to pay for it, I had the money set aside, I would definitely not pirate it just because I had to wait a little bit.
Well,
I might be special, but
it gives people an
You-
excuse to
but
pirate
Weasel,
it.
You've actually done that.
pirated because I had to wait longer or waited?
No, actually, well, I don't know if it was pirating. It wasn't actually pirating because it was for a beta, but you lied about where you actually lived so that you could play in a beta because...
Oh shit, that's
So-
true. Can I tell this story? Is everyone okay with me telling this story?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go for it.
Okay, so there was a beta for a game. It's called RFO, Rising Force Online. Really OG shit. It did not succeed at all, which is a little telling. I was so excited about this game. I was involved in the forums. We talked about the game before the game was out. We expressed our ideas, thinking that they would listen. And then when the game, hit beta, it hit beta in Korea long before it hit beta for us. And so we were like, shit, guys, we gotta figure this out. So me and the 20 other people who cared enough we went to Google Translate in the early days before Google Translate was well known. We started transcribing. We made a hieroglyphics. We had a little sheet of what do they call Rosetta Stone? We had a Rosetta Stone for the Korean language, and we started matching symbols, and we got to the point where we understood what each individual field meant on the Korean beta application. But you can't just type into a Korean beta application. No. You gotta have like plugins and shit. So we started figuring out how to get the Windows 7. We weren't using Windows 7 at the time. Who am I kidding? Windows XP, because it's the only other option. Windows XP. We started figuring out how to get the different language shit to work, and we downloaded the language codecs, and so we got it to fill the thing out, not even knowing it's a beta application. It's not like you fill it out and you win. You try and fill it out and you hope. And so we got into the Korean beta test. Had our little like American speaking guild going. It was ridiculous. So those are the lengths I am willing to. Those are the lengths I am willing to go to play a game a teensy bit early.
Yeah.
No, but like, when they do that, it just encourages people to pirate. Because like here in the UK, we get like most AAA games that come out like a week or two later than they do in the US. And I've never pirated a game. I don't think I have. But if I really wanted to play a game desperately and I didn't have the money for it, I'd just be like, well, I'm not even gonna fucking save up because damn it, because
Drink.
I win again.
Aaron wins. Aaron
I'm
wins
drinking
drinking
with you.
games. I was like, you are terrible at this, but no, he was on top of it.
because I'm not even gonna save up my money for it because they're just taking the piss. Like I've got an example which isn't a game, but you know the movie Wreck-It Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
You've had that
Yeah.
for ages. That comes out in cinemas in the UK the 14th of this month.
Seriously?
Holy
It's not even
shit.
out yet?
Yeah, do you know why? Europe. They're translating it to European languages, and apparently because England is part of Europe, we need to have it translated, but we don't. We're seeing the original version 3 months late.
Oh dear God!
I was just like, when I heard that, like last year, I
In
was
case
like,
it needs to be
I'm
in
just gonna pirate it.
subtitles.
Why am I?
What?
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna pirate it, but I didn't. But I should have.
That is completely insane. I completely agree with. I didn't realize it when it extended into movies. I thought, yeah, video games it makes sense because of, you gotta change the OU to just an O. Well, the other way around. You gotta change the O to just an OU in the word color, because that happens so many times in games that you gotta be ready, right?
Well, okay, that's one for no and one for yes, Aaron. What do you think? Would you be tempted to buy a game early or pirate a game if it was not
Well,
available?
I don't even buy the games when they come out, like in the U.S. until like a week later. Even the ones that I'm thoroughly ecstatic about.
We ain't got the money. We broke as fuck.
because I'm always broke.
I'm taking a
and
drink
then,
for that.
and so honestly, I mean, yes, it would encourage me to do that. I just, like I find myself at my current, my current situation, if it were, or as it were, or whatever, that I'm too distracted to know when it comes out in Japan.
So in reality, it probably wouldn't have much effect.
Yeah, in reality, it probably wouldn't have much effect on me. I mean, like, if I was aware of it, it most certainly would.
Yeah, like, if it was a new
Especially
game.
because a lot of the times I prefer in particular, the Japanese voice actors and subtitles to American voice actors in video games, especially the ones that have been translated from Japanese. Same thing goes with anime. I would much rather watch it with subtitles and the Japanese voice actors than deal with the American voice actors. Because there's like 5 of them, and I'm tired of all but one of them.
Here's the thing. Yeah, touche. You touche'd to my point before I made the point. The Japanese developers of these shows, games, etc., sometimes insist on being able to pick the American voice actors, but they don't understand American inflection. So they pick people that don't fit characters. Anytime you go ahead and you watch a show or you play a game that you know is made in Japan and the voice acting is a little wonky, it's usually because they don't know how to pick. They don't know how to see American inflection and go, okay, this is a good fit for this character and this isn't.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's backwards from
And that's
how it
where
would be.
a lot of the, Americans that don't like anime come from, because they listen to the dubbed version and they're like, this is some crazy shit and makes no sense. Well, it doesn't make any sense because they don't know how to portray emotion correctly, because of this bad pick matchup thing.
Yeah. Bad casting.
Bad
Anyways.
casting.
So what is our topic at this point?
Our topic is break time. Our topic is break time. That's the end of that, and we will watch the Tomb Raider trailer.